Thank you very much, Kelly. Welcome back to the commentary desk, ladies and gentlemen, for Game 2 of the Fat Chunks Assemble versus Team Dignitas. My name is hi-rez Bart. That gentleman to my left, your right, is the one and only Scandy.
Scandy. The combination. That used to be my Twitter name, believe it or not. Yeah.
Scott Gandhi is here live in Atlanta with us. And, well, Dignitas does take Game 1 in pretty convincing fashion. They took their time doing it. Chunks put up a pretty good fight from behind in that kind of end of the laning phase, early, late game stage. But it wasn't enough to kind of wrestle back the lead. They did take, and you kind of look at that Fire Giant they took, but weren't able to take anything on the back of it, indicating kind of how far Dignitas was.
One tier 1 mid, okay? That's...
Yeah, tier 1 mid off of a Fire Giant buff at 30 minutes. It's just, you can't let that, you can't have that be the best that you can do, right?
No, it's not.
They had to, I think, even if it was a risky play, they really expect to take 3 more fights, right, and get 2 more Fire Giants to win that game? I think they had to take a little bit more. We are moving into the picking and banning phase. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the left side of your screen, Dignitas, right side, Fat Chunks Assemble, and, well, as you can see, Ra going to be the first banned by Dignitas. Circuit taken out of the pool by the Chunks. Circuit not only considered very, very strong in general, also a strong god for Lassus. And, well, once again, one of the only times you're ever going to see this Cupid band out going into the Chunks.
Yeah.
Sam Shrew, a excellent Cupid player.
I'm actually very surprised that we're not seeing the Fenrir band out. I mean, we saw how strong Fenrir was throughout that entire duration of the game. But as we look at this, I mean, Nuwa is going to be the first one grabbed up here. And Shing's also very comfortable with it. But this might be going to Gnaw.
Yeah, probably Gnaw would be my guess. Although Nuwa's very strong out of the solo lane, it just seems like such a good Gnaw god, right? Able to kind of skirt away from some of those early ganks and not... although he did show that he could play that aggressive game fairly well there with the Agni. The follow-up draft from Chunks, Vulcan, Thor going their way, so same general kind of CC core on their side. On the side of Dignitas, it's going to be Lassus taking a look at that Bastet. Will they lock it in? They will indeed. Dignitas very, very early game focus with that Bastet now. The Apollo as well for Zetman. A lot of signature gods coming out on the side of Dignitas.
Yeah, and now this is going to free up a lot of things for Dignitas. We might see a little bit of tomfoolery here at the beginning of the game. We might see Lassus go with the pounce first and try to invade on the speed, or even go over to the blue. But traditionally, we're going to see kind of Bastet kind of go over there, try to jump over the wall, jump back, try to be a little bit coy, and then he's going to be like, oh, I either got speed or I didn't. So hopefully the Chunks did their homework and they are going to see that one coming. But, I mean, Thor, Vulcan, and hovering on Bacchus, that is a filthy team.
Yeah, you know, once again, kind of as I was getting at, there's a very CC-oriented core here between the Bacchus, Thor, and Vulcan. A lot of knock-up between the Bacchus and the Vulcan as well, which is kind of a superior CC in Smite. Not much you can do about it once you were already knocked up. So, you know, I'm kind of looking at that heavy CC team, but what are they going to pair this with on the kind of solo and hunter? They need, like, serious damage here. They're very, very bursty so far. Giannis, that's a good ban from Dignitas, right? They get rid of that Giannis. They need the mobility. They need something to kind of pair with that Thor for gank potential. They need the burst as well. Hunter-wise, Cupid would have been great for them, and Giannis would have been great for them for their mid laner as well. So they're going to take a look at Ram as their hunter. No big surprise there. Kind of amazing. Second billing to Apollo in most people's books.
Now, a lot of people back home are probably going to be like, is that Odin banned? Yes. Odin is actually kind of in the pocket strategy for a lot of the teams here in North America, just because, you know, the ring does so much damage and he synergizes so well. But the big thing is early game, he can contest Sylvanas in the clear, which is huge. Right,
but without Sylvanas drafted, although I guess it still is available for Dignitas, but Chunks are thinking, hey, they may be looking for this Odin, especially with the Bastet. A lot of synergy between Bastet and Odin, especially there. Notably, Athena available for Dignitas here. Amir is here. Geb is available, so there's a lot of support opportunities for Dignitas. They'll likely be drafting that last as they don't have, you know, any real pressure. Look for the solo laner here. Looks like it will be Sylvanas picked, I'm sorry, on the side of Dignitas. It looks like it's, and then they're going to draft an Arachne as well, if I'm seeing that right?
Yeah,
so Sylvanas and Arachne are the final 2 pickups for Dignitas.
Arachne is going to be the solo lane Arachne.
And here, Sun Wukong locked in for Fat Chunks as their solo question mark. Wow.
Okay. Well, it's Chunks again. It could be support. It could be mid. You never actually know with them, but I am very excited for the Arachne. Arachne has been used by just about every single team throughout all of the scrimmages. She is very, very strong in the solo lane. I'm talking lethal.
She's like a Bakasura style of solo laner. He kind of maybe the more known playstyle in that lane. A little bit similar, big lifesteal ability, big kind of like sustain, single hit, decent CC, stack damage. It's very hard to judge how much you're going to take and how lethal she can be to you. And, well, that's going to be the solo lane for Xing as that Arachne. Seems dangerous, but definitely some carry potential of the new Arachne. Sylvanas will be the support. We'll see how Dare to Care does with that. It matches up fairly well with Apollo. You know, Sylvanas doesn't really have any bad lane pairings, I feel like.
Sure.
One thing that, you know, I do want to make note of here that we just haven't seen and maybe criminally haven't seen is no Freyas so far in this tournament.
Not at all.
Nor banned, a god that was sitting at damn near 100% pick ban rate through all of the league and most of the European regionals as well, untouched here in North America.
Which is super interesting, right? Because Vulcan's the one who translated the most. I think people are kind of valuing the Apollos and Roms over Freya, which makes sense in this scenario. So, but I mean, overall, man, Freya's a beast.
Well, it does look like we are moving into game here, Mr. Scott. Let's go ahead and introduce your teams, ladies and gentlemen, as we move into game number 2. It's Dignitas versus the Chunks, and this time fighting on the bottom of the minimap, the left side of your spectator UI. They're wearing the blue trunks. It is going to be Team Dignitas that is going to be taking it from there. You're going to have Zapman pairing up with Dare to Care yet again in the duo lane. It's going to be the Apollo Sylvanas. You have Gnaw, who's going to be solo lane as, mid lane as the Nuwa, which makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
That mid lane position for him, Nuwa able to bail herself out of ganks fairly well with the ultimate. Lassus, the captain in the jungle, of course, this time on Bastet. Hyper aggression coming out of him. Look for that, and look for a lot of dot harass into the solo lane with that Xing Arachne. Their opponents fighting out of the other side of the map. It's the Chaos team. They are the Chunks. They'll be wearing the red trunks in this matchup. Unique is going to be your jungle Thor. Aurora is going to be pairing with Samshrew in the duo lane. This time is Bacchus and Ram. Hurwin reprising his role as the Vulcan. No, I'm sorry, that's going to the mid lane as the Vulcan. And Cyclone Spin will be your solo Sun Wukong.
Now, here's the one thing we're going to kind of look at. Now, Zapman in that last game, super aggressive. He had a Geb shield. In this game, Zapman has to take note of that and realize, okay, I can't be as ballsy as I want to be because I don't have Geb. When you have Geb, you kind of have a get-out-of-jail-free card with the shield. He doesn't have that now. He does have the heal over time, but he does not have Geb. You're going to look to see Zapman play a little bit more passive, which to him still is like the most aggressive player in the game,
They
right?
don't have the Aphrodite. They don't have the Geb this time to bail out that Apollo. So how aggressive can he really get? And Sylvanas lacks quite a bit in kind of self-peel. He's pretty good at peeling away from a target. You know, he can pull enemies towards him, but it's very easy to aggress into the Sylvanas in many cases. If you can keep him down, Bacchus definitely has that lane advantage, I would say, especially for a kill lane.
Yeah, and you know, this is the standard formation here. You know, we're going to be seeing Dignitas 3-man stack on mid Harpies, and they go and get blue, and then they kind of go into lane. But notice how Lassus did not burn his hand yet. He's just kind of waiting. He might do red if he wants to do this, but Xing's going to be way far behind, and he actually is going to go with the red start.
So, yeah, that is actually not taking the going straight across to the speed. It does leave a little bit of room open for Unique to try to make a play here, maybe a steal, but not going to be the case as Lassus and Gnaw are going to be splitting the red and backside camps. Gnaw doing a nice job of pushing that lane up. He's not going to miss out on too much lane experience or have to eat too much minion aggro to deal with this, and it's an early level 3 for the mid laner.
And the big thing here, when you take a look at Xing versus Cyclone Spin in this duo or in this single lane matchup, the big thing here is Xing actually is looking to go with Dev Glove, so he's looking to stack more lifesteal.
Look at this web placement.
Yeah, right. It's just hanging out.
It's like right between the archers for when they move forward. They'll go ahead and auto aggro over to the spiders. Lane clear advantage, however, looks to be a bit in favor of the Sun Wukong in the early levels here.
Well, Magic Cudgel with the recent buff. I mean, it does 20% more damage to the minions, which is also humongous for them. But Xing, I almost would have liked to see a heavy hammer start with him because it's so many times, you know, people get away from Arachne, even with the slow.
He's going to be maxing out that Venomous Bite here on the Arachne. That is his #1 ability, giving him that extra sustain, extra lifesteal. He's sitting on a 2-0-1 build now as he hits level 4, banking that last point.
Yep. Duo lane going basically exactly how you expect. Now, when you have Sylvanas in your lane, it's a lot of push, and it's a lot of damage early because his auto attacks do AoE damage.
Yeah, they do. You're able to hit the wave and the players, perhaps, and you can see him stacking it up as well. Plus, the mana advantage coming out of those pods. But will it be enough? It looks like, I mean, Chunk's not really trying to be too aggressive here, which I think is the answer to Sylvanas. But Dignitas just clearing so fast, and Ram not able to keep those astral arrows up, only able to afford maybe 2 or 3 per wave. A little bit later in the game, he'll be able to clear perfectly sufficiently versus this.
Oh, for sure. And, you know, both teams doing an excellent job splitting camps here. You know, you're seeing Nuwa, which is going to be Nog, go ahead and go with Lassus the entire time. Both teams get their respected speed buff. There hasn't been a single invade yet, which is kind of curious to me, given the fact that Dignitas is an early team base comp right now, but we might see a little bit more aggression, which you have to see because Bastet is super strong between levels 5 and 10.
Yeah, what I really like here about this Dignitas team especially given the Chunks team. I think their matchup is very strong versus Chunks. Between the Arachne and the Basset, a tremendous amount of dot damage to go into those two very difficult to deal with ultimates between Sun Wukong and Thor. They both can kind of leave the play space. They both take a little bit to channel, though, and those dots will really help burn them out of those ultimates and prevent them from escaping away with very low HP.
Oh, there's the ultimate. Aurora's going to be forced all the way out. Sam's taking a lot of damage. There is going to be no follow-up, though, so that's going to deter, but they are going to go ahead and go for this rotation here on the mid-harps. Unique is in a position to get it. Well, Zapman, he split up from his support. He could have been in a lot of trouble there, but there's no follow-up. He's actually going to try to go in on this since he does have Lasses and all, but there's no kill potential here.
This is like where in Europe we would have seen Gold Fury started. Right? Like you know, the Thors are shading towards the right side of the map. They notice it. They go all in because their jungler hasn't left yet. Left side, though, Zapman's gone in onto Aurora. They force the belly flop.
There it is.
Not an easy spell to hit, but Dare to Care unable to get the follow-up route as well. And, you know, it's just not a great kill lane. Checking on the right side, it just continues to be so aggressive as Cyclone Spin and Shin continues to trade, and Cyclone Spin getting the better of these trades for now.
Yeah, which is interesting, right? Because we're normally used to seeing Arachne
Gold Fury started, my friend. 4 minutes in. Dignitas realizes they've aggressed on Aurora. He's forced back. There's almost nothing that Chunks can do about this unless Vulcan.
They also have no vision.
Yeah, no ward
on
the side of the map for them. They have just the one kind of spotting that gank at the blue buff. Blue buff timing coming back up, but it's going to be just too late. Dignitas, first Gold Fury happening 4 minutes into this game. Big pickup from the team. They are up 1-0 in this best of 3, and now sitting on a, well, nice little gold lead, 1,200 gold going their way. They wrestled the experience back. It was actually Chunks that had the early advantage there, but now it's a 700 lead in favor of Team Dignitas.
That's huge. You can't put a price on that. I mean, that is a great calling. That's also a lack of warding from Chunks, but they knew that. They saw Bacchus rotate. Right
side, we're going to have a fight. Lassus has moved into an aggressive positioning. Cyclone Spin, I really wish he would have stayed in and fought Xing with a Thor coming in on the backup. They would have had a great opportunity to burst down that Arachne without giving up too much, but unwilling to kind of take the bait there is Cyclone Spinner, or be the bait rather.
Oh,
they're going to pick up their blue buffs. Left side, it's a blue buff invade, Scott.
This isn't good. Samchu's going to be taking a lot of damage here. Vulcan's going to be there as well. There's not the follow-up. Aurora's going to miss the belly flop. He needed to hit that. Dare to Care might be the one who goes down, as Zapman's going to 1v1 Heroin in the back. Dare to Care's in a lot of trouble. Null's going to go for the rotation. Here comes the Clay Soldiers. He's not able to get the kill, though.
The ultimate pop.
Yep, and he's going to be able to get one. Can he find the second? He's not going to go for it. Zapman still in the back. Bastet, though, Lassus wrapping all the way around. He's going to have a nice flank, but he is going to be spotted out here. Meanwhile, now all in the middle. That's a Heroin ult, and he's going to miss it all. Zapman might get away from this as well, Bart, but look at the damage from Na.
Yeah, he's just got to do enough here for Lassus to be able to move in and clean up. He puts a cats out onto Heroin. It's going to be enough to take out one. Can he get a second? Needs to reprioritize the cats as they are still up.
Kitty
now
cat.
going on to Unique. Unique going to teleport out of there. In the meantime, Cyclone Spin does chase that man down underneath the tower. Lassus now the one in some trouble. Do they have enough CC Mjolnirs? It's the spin to win, and down goes Lassus, the captain, overextending there. He picks up a double kill. It ends up being a very, very bloody trade on the left side of the map, but Chung's coming out ahead.
That is huge. You saw Lassus, he's so close, right? Like, he wanted to get the bleed on Heroin, but he couldn't. Or Unique, excuse me, but he couldn't. And because of that, Thor shows why he's so strong, and that is a big swing of momentum.
Xing hits a really good Dev Gloves timing here. He gets him at the same time as the Hunters with the supports. He gets some free farm in this lane. The Cyclone Spin spent a lot of time trying to pick up that kill onto Zapman. Xing should pull ahead in this lane now, and he needs to actually kill Cyclone Spin, I think, to kind of solidify this lane being something that's been won by the Arachne. Mid camp's coming up, right side being picked up by Aurora. Looks like left side went to the Chunks as well, Scott. Yep. As they, they've kind of overcome that early Gold Fury now, drawing the game back to even.
Yeah, and that was one of the biggest parts about that fight. I mean, looking at the timer, I mean, it was about 6:30. They're going to get both camps.
We got a man fight on the left side. Samshu's in some trouble here, forcing the ultimate. He's dead.
Yeah, he does have his whole team rotating, though. You got Heroin and Aurora coming in. This is going to be a big team fight as Unique's going to come in and split it out. Samshu's able to escape. He's going to be taken out by Dare to Care with the hot, but this is not looking good for Dignitas as they are forced all the way out. Lassus is completely drunk, and we do have Na in a great position, though. That's a lot of Damahes.
That was a killer execution there by Chunks to actually take that trade as even up until, well, the Vulcan fell there, but trading 1 for 1, that is actually a pretty bad play by Zapman. They're actually elected to stand and taunt Samshrew instead of taking a relatively good position, and well, he dies for it. An unnecessary death on the side of Zapman isn't enough to get Chunks. I think they need to take this next Gold Fury. They need an objective. They need a tower. They need something off of kind of this play that they're getting, or it's going to start stalling out like the last game did, where Dignitas just continues to get a couple hundred more golden XP a minute, and it snowballs in their favor. But right now, Chunks, they're holding it fairly close, but it's 1,800 gold. Or sorry, 1,000 gold and 1,500 experience now in favor of Dignitas as the drafts update there.
Yeah, and it's still super early. I mean, we saw that kind of aggression last game, like at the 14-minute mark. Now we're seeing it at the 7-minute mark, and the Gold Fury is getting ready to reset as well. So Dignitas does have the timer on that. You can see that Chunks already have a ward on it as well. So they're going to be looking for this contention of it for sure. So that's probably the next big engagement here.
Yeah, about a minute for that Gold Fury, and you got to be a little bit worried about this solo lane here. I mean, the Sun Wukong is not going to bring as much at the 20-minute mark as the Arachne is.
Yeah, well, exactly. But, I mean, at the same time, I mean, Sun Wukong, you transform, and then you just kind of run around, knock people up, and discombobulate everyone. And Magic Cudgel does surprisingly a lot of damage. But, yeah, Arachne is going to be able to take that.
Yeah, you're giving up, like, another DPS here for a pseudo frontliner. So you have the Sylvanas on the side of Dignitas, you have the Bacchus on the side of the Chunks, right? You don't really have any other frontliners in the game besides the Sun Wukong, who at best is a hybrid. So is it going to be worth it to have a little bit more resiliency in these fights to give up the damage potential you could have had out of another pick? Like a Vamana, notably, who's unpicked, unbanned in this game, would have been an excellent choice over the Sun Wukong.
Agreed. Vamana's just a monster. Like, he's big baby. But, looking at the timer here, we're also going to have mid Harpies as well as Gold Fury coming up. This is going to be a huge swing. Whoever wins is Zapman getting out of dodge. He's not able to make it out. Unique cleans him up. That's going to give them great contention.
They need to fight the Gold Fury right now. What are they doing? They know that Lass is on the right side of the map. They know that the Hunter is dead. They know Arachne's just gone back. Why are they not taking the Gold Fury right now?
I think they're worried.
Just serial misplay from Chunks right here. I mean, this is like enough to potentially lose them the early game. They're going to start it up now. This timing should be enough, but I mean,
it's always Gold Fury
first. This was dead
first.
by now if they would have gone for the Gold Fury. They went for the mid Harpies, and now they've given an opportunity. Xing has teleport to wards. He's in the backside. They don't know he's here. Oh, this is trouble for the Chunks as Derrick gets the ultimate out as well. They're going to disrupt this easily. Will Team Dignitas buying themselves a lot of time, picking up a kill in the process, and well, that is it's a bad call. I mean, they had that Gold Fury free. They just wasted too much time, and now they're paying for it. Aurora going to go down as well. That's a 3-man wipe. Gold Fury is going to go to Dignitas now. Unfortunate for the Chunks.
Yeah, Chunks, all they had to do right there was worry about the Gold Fury, then get Harpies to have that fight. That's fine. Xing's now just going to be able to rotate out. But a brilliant play here from Xing, actually grabbing the teleport. That is the big momentum swing here as, oh my God, he's able to get one. He's staying on it. He's going to contest this.
It's a hog one,
Dig
though.
was able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, he has a hog one going into a hog 3. Nice play by Cyclone Spin there, who has played excellent in this tournament now.
Fantastic.
I think you go ahead and solidify saying that, he is kind of the player to watch for the Chunks, especially in this best of 3. Has just once again shown that he has a great kind of game sense, game knowledge there. But kind of on that front, where was the call? Who's the play caller for Chunks here? How do they miss that Gold Fury? I mean, it seemed free, at least to me. Granted, we have vision of the entire map. We knew who everyone was, but they knew the Arachne went back, and they knew the Bastet was in the right side lane. They knew they killed the Apollo. That's 3 members that had no opportunity to contest for about 60 seconds. They were unable to capitalize.
That's heartbreaking. I mean, they're still in this game as you take a look. I mean, it's only about a 2,500 gold difference and 2,000 XP. Super early right now, which is good for them. But as the game progresses,
that's 3 levels above the ROM. Like,
I just looked at that and I was like, oh.
Yeah, like he just can't handle the cat scratches that are coming up. I mean, those dots are going to start taking away a third of his health every time. Right, and that's just really, really hard to fight into. Right side lane, Sylvanas has made a long rotation. They're going to put the pressure out on Cycle Spin, knowing that ultimate is down for the Monkey for now. But Thor is here. He's going to find the sun out onto 2. Derrick, this is the weakness of Sylvanas, as you see right there. He can't do very much. Xing's going to try to go toe-to-toe with Cycle Spin, but he's going to be pushed off for the moment. Lassus is making his way in. Lassus is going to have the angle here. Unless Cycle Spin goes for the transformation. Lassus going to dive the tower here. No, Cat's going to be the dive. Can he get the scratch out in time? He can indeed. It's going to be enough damage for Cycle Spin. He's dead.
Yep,
this next in hand.
Oh, no, he was able to do it. Tectonic Rift. And Nas able to get the cleanup. Heroin now looking for it, but my God, another amazing play out of Thor.
Sun Wukong passive just so good. Giving that extra protections there to help shrug off the last of that Bastet damage, but luckily they do have a new one. This is kind of what I was going to get at a little bit earlier in the game, but we'll go and talk about it now. The double dot kind of with the Arachne and the Bastet has very good synergy with that new ultimate to kind of gods that think they're safe, not being safe indeed.
Speaking of not safe.
Yeah. Oh, buddy. Making plays to try to avoid Zapman and get out with his life. Turns around, he's like, all right, scot-free, but nope. There was Nas. Samshoes rotated over to this kind of red camp to try to hold off Dignitas for now. Gold Fury not for another 3 minutes, but this red buff they may be looking for after taking the mid camps. Chuck's going to try to roll forward and put a play out onto Zapman, but in comes Cyclone Spin. He went the teleporter towards himself. Moves forward, but cancels his cat form very quickly. Samshu goes on the ultimate. The slow's going to be enough to help secure some of his damage, but Aegis there from Zatman. Can he find his way out? There's a heal from Dare to Care. That's going to take a little bit more resilience.
He's crazy.
Trying to fight with the life steal, but it's not enough. Intoxication is going to clean up that, and now it's Dignitas who put themselves in a really awful position. Chunks get a lot out of that one, but they need to take some towers.
Careful, Lassus. Lassus and all have to get out of here. They are going to be able to take this blue buff unless Lassus, who's absolutely crazy, he does have his pounce that brings him back, which is going to be a little bit safe. But Aurora's going to kind of zone them out here, and now they're going to be able to take the entire jungle. Unfortunately, there's no speed buff. That would be Christmas for them. Unfortunately, they're left with Thanksgiving.
They got to take this mid tower. I mean, they got to get something off of this. Come on, boys. Find this mid tower. I mean, it's going to be really tough. They have to fight into the Nuwa clear, which is just excellent, and it looks like Chunks are going to go ahead and concede this one. Happy with what they got. The one kill on the Xing, kill on a Dare to Care, and a stolen blue buff.
Well, the bleed here coming out from Lassus, doing a lot of damage. Cyclone Spin. Heroine's going to head back. Unique's going to kind of make his presence known just a little bit here, as Nas just going to stay here and get the kind of free farm here. And player damage, no shocker, dude. Cyclone Spin at top, as well as Thor. Thor's the real story, right? 8100. Yeah. He's everywhere. Yeah, and he does it, he just has Jotuns. He just got Jotuns.
Well, CDR helping add to his damage, of course. A little bit of pen as well, his passive factoring in. Let's talk some Wukong, though. It's Transcendence for the Monkey King.
What are your initial thoughts with that?
It's going to give him infinite mana. It's going to give him the highest single physical power contributing item over the Shifter Shield, of course, once it is fully stacked up. He's not going to get a lot out of it until he does get those stacks without a large mana pool to boot. It helps him spam his abilities, which is something that he wants to do, but let's hold that thought. Is on the right side. Thor's crashed in, and well, Xing exploded. The bug got popped very quickly there.
And I think Xing's forgetting that Unique wants Xing to just be dead at all times.
Yeah, that's the weakness of the Arachne, right? She doesn't have any great... He basically has to spot out that ult coming with good warding and use his own ultimate to dodge it, or have his beads ready to go. But with that teleport to wards rank 3 there, he's not going to have a lot of... that shielded teleport, sorry, he only has the rank 1 bead, so he can't do too much in terms of winning these ganks.
Well, and it's kind of like a misplay here out of Xing as well, because when you're playing against a Thor, you want to ward in the Fire Giant, and as you can tell in the minimap in your top right side of it, he's got it over by the blue buff. That ward needs to be on the Fire Giant, because that's where Unique's going to ult from 100% of the time.
Decent timing on the Transcendence here after the Smithy's Hammer and Boots pick up. I mean, on 15 minutes to finish off this item, that's pretty good. That means that he's going to be looking at, just around 20, 21 minutes where he's going to start getting the stacks, getting meaningfully high, to where it's outperforming other options you could have had for the same amount of gold. Shifter Shield is going to come online, it looks like, a bit before that for the Thor. Bastet for Lassus, though, is trailing behind in terms of itemization. Well, as you can see, the experience difference is actually falling back towards the chunks with some very meaningful pickups.
Gnaw just taking a lot of damage there. That was amazing poke. The double tap coming out of Thor, but they're actually going to rotate back. I'm not sure if they know that these Harpies are coming up. They should have a general idea just because it's...
Oh, they know. They better know.
They have to, but I mean, they're going to lose that one as well. Gold Fury's getting ready to come up, or Gold Fury's up, excuse me. Xing's just going to get bullied by Cyclone Spin, but that's really all eyes here on the Gold Fury. You see the counter ward going down here out of Dare to Care. He's just kind of clearing it, and he wants to bait this fight. He also wants to give his teammates time to kind of get there and to wait for teleport to be online.
Yeah, that solo lane's getting more and more one-sided. Sun Wukong looking like a very, very viable option up against that Arachne.
Yeah, right.
Or maybe more that Arachne is not that great as a solo laner, maybe is more to the point.
Yes, but I don't know. A lot of the pro players are loving Arachne just because it's like, 1, quarter health. 2, oh, look at this, I'm back to full health, right? They love the sustain that Arachne has, and that's what's interesting about it, but she's going to lose this tower here, and I want to know, she's down by 2 levels. This could be hard for Xing. He might lose this. Oh my god, he's 100% going to lose this.
She has sustain, but it's nothing like Sun Wukong has percentage sustain. All she really has, I mean, you can see there's that slow. And without a Fist of the Gods, no peel. But let's take a look over the Gold Fury where Dignitas has picked that up before Aurora makes his way in. Just off the mark was Aurora, a little bit late there. And Dignitas secures the 3rd Gold Fury of the game for themselves. And that should indicate how well Chunks has actually done this game. The fact that Dignitas is only sitting at just about 1,500 gold after the 3rd Gold Fury. That's a lot of uncontested gold. No towers. I'm sorry, 1 tower just now falling. Oh, that thought's got it. Right side, there's an engagement going on at the red buff.
That's a pretty kitty coming out there. Lassus is able to get out of there. Cyclone's been going in hot, but he's not able to get the follow-up. Nuwa's going to be able to push out mid, and you can see the Chunks all grouped up around Fire Giant. We're not going to see that, but they weren't able to get a single kill. And Zatman
finds himself the tower on the left side here. That's free. Unfortunate for Chunks that they didn't find that kill on the Bastet. Oh, teleport to towers is coming in, though. Zatman could be in some trouble. Here's Cyclone Spin.
Surprise, Zatman. And he actually barely taking any damage from the Magic Cudgel at all. So now he's going to be able to push that out. And as we go ahead and take a look at gold in hand, he should have a decent amount. Yeah, he's got 2,300.
Oh, yikes. That means that he's going to be making his way into an Executioner. Well, just like that.
Yep, excuse
Done.
me.
So penetration online over on the side of Samshire, still working into what appears to be a chin size of his own, although he is sitting on only just about 500 gold in hand. But judging by his general tendencies, that will be a chin size into Aussie. Coming out after this. Mid lane, Dare to Care blinking forward. They want to get a kill into Heroin here, and it looks like
that's going to happen.
If they want it, they can have it as the dot.
Oh, he missed it!
No, the Aegis is there, but there's a new ultimate, and boom goes the dynamite.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You thought you were safe? I'm new.
There's a few spells you can't miss, that being one of them, and well, hits everyone on the map.
Well, actually, funny story. Jerby actually has missed one.
Talking about the Nemesis shield blowing him up before he did the damage.
Yeah, exactly. I love Jerbs.
It shows.
Well, now we're going to see the red buff go ahead and get split off here as Xing's going to go into the solo lane. And I'm kind of surprised we actually haven't seen Lassus kind of cater to it a little bit more. This lane has been completely lopsided.
Well, now with the level advantage that the Sun Wukong has, plus that early Smithy's Hammer, there's just no way that dot damage is going to add up to enough. Left side mid camps are going to have some contention here. Dare to Cares make his way forward. Intoxicate you. Zapman, well, he's not too worried about that. It appears he's continuing on to Unique, getting that last hit. He's going to take to the skies. He's going to go deep for Unique. Unique's going to take the skies of his own. Zapman's going to try to circle around. If he's forced out of this fight now, it's Aurora that's overextended. He should be able to get the knock-up onto the Bacchus as he dives the tower. There it is, dashing forward now. The kitty cat's on his back, but it's not going to be there. Zapman wants that kill, but doesn't have that kind of bailout lineup as we talked about in the last game. No two shields and an Aphrodite to save him this time.
Now, and this is going to be interesting for Dig right now, right? Because they have to now value. Do we go to our lanes and do we get that experience, or kind of do we push down this mid tower and get it? Apparently, they don't care about that mid tower. That's literally 2 hits.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy for Nuwa to take that. She has such good wave clear. Can toss out the minions as well. They can backdoor pretty easily. Cyclone Spin's going to try to make a play on the left side here, but...
What's he? Well, he's all by himself.
Yeah,
but
it's Oxman now.
Yeah, just transform and roll out, man.
Yeah, he's going to be fast enough to get out of there, but he's left the right side lane pretty open. Bacchus for Aurora, forced to go over there and hold this tower against Xing. Not ideal, really. They don't necessarily need very many more levels on the Bacchus, although he is sitting at 5-1 and 5. Kind of typical for Aurora to be doing so well as a support. Chunks continue to be out ahead of this game, but it doesn't feel that squarely in their favor with the amount of Gold Furies that have gone to Dignitas. They've just shown kind of better control of the map. Although Chunks has had some really, really excellent fights, and they've actually pulled quite a bit ahead in the solo lane. Xing, even with the free farm that he's been getting due these rotations, is still 2 levels behind Cyclone Spin.
Yeah, and the one thing I got to ask you, I will pick your brain here, is the Witchblade pick up on Arachne? Like skipping over Executioners or Chins or anything.
Yeah.
He just wants to go Witchblade?
He doesn't have a choice, I think. He's just taking too much damage from the Wukong. The Wukong's not a god that you want to be... You never want to be going into a Wukong being like, this god is really bursty, right? Like, if he has enough damage and you have too little protection and he's actually bursting you down, it's just very, very hard to lane.
Speaking of hard, he is in a lot of trouble here. The Arachne ult's going to come. He's going to look for the counter initiation here. Unique taking no damage. Lash is going to get caught up there, but he's going to hold on to his ultimate. They see no real kill potential, but look at the movement. It's going to be a 4-on-4 over here.
Maybe most importantly, Thor ult not used there. That pressure comes out before using the Thor ultimate, and now it's going to be, that 4v4 you mentioned. Dignitas does not have the best team to hold from a siege. 2 assassins, the Sylvanas and the Nuwa. Really, the Nuwa forced to do all of the work there.
Yep. Nuwa has to do all the clearing. I mean, Lassus can throw out a little bit, but it's not going to clear away at all.
Xing on the left side. Look, he's just teleported in. They're going to try to dive Samshu. Zapman needs to do about half of his HP pool before Xing gets in there.
And he did.
He's dead.
Wow.
That's going to be enough. Samshrew just had no idea that one was coming. They're going to take the tower, and in the meantime, in the backside of this fight, Lassus finds a kill into Unique before his ultimate goes down. Nuwa's taking the sky. Some damage coming out. Cyclone Spin trying to stay relevant in that fight and put the pressure on Nuwa. Now it's Lassus trying to make his way out. He's going to go down to the Sun Wukong.
How is he alive?
He dodges it, and no damage from the turret either. He's going to fall just now, but that buys a lot of time. In comes Herwin. He's dead to Zapman.
Somehow, there it is. Zapman now.
Is he going to be resilient enough to fight through this? Yes, pulling back in Aurora. Damage coming through. Down is going to go Aurora to the dot from Xing. Zapman can push forward with the So Beautiful as well if need be, and there it is. Well executed by Dignitas. They pick up 4 kills in exchange for Lassus all around the map, and they'll be taking the 4th Gold Fury as well.
Yep, they have complete control of the entire map. Now, with that said, though, if you are Dignitas, you want to be looking to throw down these wards that are aggressive. As you can take a look, you have like all kind of passive wards besides the one by mid Harpies. You want to get them deep. You want them by those back Harpies. You want them by the speed. You want to be able to continue that advantage throughout the rest of the game.
6,000 gold, 4,000 experience that Dignitas is up, and well, you know, they're only up by about 1,800, 2,000 gold, given had they not taken 4 Gold Furies this game, and that's really where that first Gold Fury in game number 2 here, just a heartbreaker for Chunks. I mean, they had such a clean opportunity to get in and get out,
Yeah.
And they're going to be looking back at that one on tape and just really kicking themselves, saying, look, they really had the momentum in game 2. And they've dropped it. Can they find a way to kind of get their feet back under them, to kind of start punching with weight again?
Well, I think the big question is can Dig actually end, right? Because we're looking at it. I mean, they have a 4,000 experience difference, a gold difference of about 6,000 now in climbing. But it's like they had a bigger one last time, and they dropped the ball a little bit and continued on to 45 minutes. This team for Chunks is much better for a late game. Much better.
Yeah, I mean, that Sun Wukong, though, I mean, he starts following up pretty aggressively, whereas Arachne will continue to have that single target, burst damage. Cyclone Spin just... he's been playing so well. It's just surprising me they put him on a god like Sun Wukong, right? If he would have had Vulcan again in this game, or even like a Zhang Kui or something that's a little more damage focused, he would have been better, but they needed that physical damage again. I go back to, how is it not Vamana?
Vamana or Chalk. People have forgotten about Chalk. He is amazing in every way, shape, and form. In the backside, though, Zapman's able to find one. Unique's going to be trying to run away. Down he goes. Now, Nuwa, is he going to look for it on Herwin? Herwin's going to be able to do a lot of damage. Here comes the blink from Dare to Care. He's going to get knocked up. Here comes the follow-up route, and that's a lot of Damahes, and Herwin's going to be taken out as well. And there is actually going to be one more person in the back that's going to be a Roar. He's going to be in a Dignitas sandwich, and he's going to just run out of it.
The pull back in buys time for Lasses to get the angle of Roar. Don't see you getting out of this one, buddy. The stun's going to come through. No,
he missed it?
Somehow, no, missed that one. And actually, Aurora's going to live. Well played, sir.
Hats off to you, Aurora. You've done it.
Teleport's going to come in for Wukong. He's going to be forced to hold this back. Xing is going to get this right side tower. And, well, Zapman, he's had a cozy little time. He's carved out a niche for himself, taking the left side Phoenix in the midst of all of that. Dignitas breaks the base at 24 minutes.
Yep, and on top of that now, this is going to be right tier 1 going in favor of Dig as well. That's going to be a lot of gold going into the circulation of their pockets. So that's going to be huge. But this is kind of what we expected out of the Apollo, right? Like, everything kind of goes on in mid and right lane, and then Apollo's just like, oh, by the way, here's your Phoenix. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that, with Sam Shrew having such difficulty 1v1ing Zapman now with that level advantage, plus all the pressure from the teleport towards that Xing is bringing, they've dove his tower a few times. They've kind of gotten to his head, I think, and it's really hard for him to stay there and kind of stick to Zapman. Yeah. The feeling is that, look, I can go try to make moves on the rest of the map and kind of help my team with some more damage in these fights. Maybe we can win those and get ahead that way. But the second you do that, there's the Apollo knocking at your door and taking your Phoenix. It's a really difficult kind of game when you're behind as that hunter and you're isolated in those fights and your team's losing the 4v4s.
And that is that's a Void Shield coming out on Bastet here for Lasses.
Yeah, why not?
Not every day you see that.
It's a great item when you're really far ahead like this. More pen, an aura of pen, in fact, and just a little bit, a little bit of power, a little bit of protection. Again, synergizes well with
his team comp. Yeah, he's only got one magical.
You look at who's the real threats in this game now. Too far behind, really, is Heroine to do that much damage as the Vulcan. It's going to be the Thor and the Sun Wukong kind of burst that's the real threat to the Cat while she's knocked up maybe from the Vulcan. So it makes good sense, right? He's going to shrug off almost all of that physical burst now with these items.
Yep. The right Harpies actually seem to be the place where the party's
happening. That's the place to fight, man.
Yeah, here it comes. The Blink's going to come in. Dare to Care is going to be in the heart of the action. Yep, Unique is going to be pulled. There's no follow-up, though, from Team Dignitas as the Tectonic Rift is going to stop that. Look at the damage on Aurora. That is the support. He's tanky, and down he goes. Naw's able to find one, and that's going to give them a little bit of an advantage here as Zapman's going to come crashing down. Unique's going to say, no chance, though, and he will get the follow-up. Will he get pulled? He's able to get out of there with that hammer. This could be a Fire Giant, yeah.
Yeah, it's at least a shot at it. With no Aurora, the steel's not there. All they have to really worry about is going to be that Heroine damage, and as we mentioned, he's not really on pace with the rest of the team. Level 20s, 3 of them on the side of Dignitas, only 1 for the Chunks. Experience is about 10k, as is the gold. But, I mean, that meatball in the last engagement actually kind of prevented Chunks from maybe getting wiped. Heroine's dead.
Yeah, look at Lasses.
There's just no other way to call that one. Heroine is dead, caught out by the Cat, and that's why Lasses like to pick this god. Cyclone Spin's taken to the sky, but they're going to leash Fire Giant now.
Oh, look, yep, he's going to kind of just chill, waits, and that's going to be an ultimate down. The engagement's all the way over on the speed buff. Unique's going to be able to get out. Zapman's going to make Sam Shrew play, and now Unique is just going to take a little bit of damage there from the new wall ult, as we are going to see Cyclone Spin go ahead and back, and this is going to be a Fire Giant here, Bart.
The recall of kind of resignation coming out of Sun Wukong there, realizing that there's not much of a contest he can really bring to the table at this point. He did have his Hog 3, but blew his ultimate a little bit early there, as we noted, right? Wasn't able to kind of use that to contest. That being said, you're looking at a 20 to 16 kill advantage now in favor of Dignitas. They do have their kind of 12,000 golden experience lead as well, and they're going to be pushing into the base. They have the left side down. They don't have to pressure that. And, luckily for them, they took the lane furthest away from the Fire Giant as their first Phoenix, which means that the map is very difficult to defend for the Chunks. Dignitas looking like this one is all but theirs. Chunks fighting for their tournament lives here. This is a single elimination in this best of 3, so
It's huge.
They have to win this game or they are out of the Pro League.
Well, Dignitas now looking to do the Gold Fury here. This is just going to kind of stack up on them. Looking at the gold in hand, I mean, they have a decent amount. Everyone kind of floating around 1,500 plus. So they're going to go back, kind of get a little bit beefier, and then try to force this fight. I wouldn't be surprised if it's all the way in the right lane just to get the tier 2 down and kind of push that way and then rotate into the mid. But at the same time, that Phoenix is getting ready to reset. So they do have to worry about that as well.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Zapman moving up the left side to push that lane back up into that Phoenix and threaten it on the respawn, while the rest of the team is going to take the mid and right. Looking like the right, at least for now, is going to try to pick up the red and blue buff on their way in. But Dignitas, they're very, very happy with their position. They have Fire Giant buff for another minute and 50 seconds. And they have a pretty good opportunity to win this game with this push, it seems like here.
Yep, shout out to Na, by the way, for having the most wards placed. He's the mid laner. Take notes at home. Tired of buying all the wards, ladies and gentlemen.
No one will let you play carry?
Oh, God, no. God, no.
Look at this. I mean, it's no real surprise with his 8 deaths, but 300 seconds spent dead by the Vulcan. Right?
Ooh.
5 minutes Vulcan's been out of this game. Next highest is going to be that Rom, but almost like 180, but 300. I mean, that's why he's so far behind at level 17. He just had no opportunity to farm. He's been killed over and over and over again and has no answer for the Bastet Cats.
Yep, and speaking of Bastet Cats, here it comes. Unique's able to get out of there. Cyclone Spin, just the pounce alone. Cyclone Spin might go down. He is. Before he gets the ultimate, Last is going to continue to pursue. Isn't able to get the follow-up there. Yep, here it comes. Oh, goodness. And now Heroine's going to be in the back. Zapman trying to aggress. Isn't able to get the last hit, but this is going to be big. This should be this left Phoenix and the mid. The question is are they going to try to go for the DPS
That's
on
a big
the Titan?
bomb. Shing's going to take about half of his HP. Aurora's going to fall as well. Samshu's taken to the sky. Zapman moves in on a Heroine. He's going to try to put his damage out.
The body blocks.
Samshu, look at those crits.
Look at that. Oh, my God.
Triple kill for Zapman. Team Dignitas will eliminate the Fat Chunks Assemble here in the first round. Moving on to face Cognitive Red.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Team Dignitas. Zapman with an amazing triple kill at the end of the game to advance the body blocks on Vulcan. How heartbreaking.
Yeah, a tough game. Heroine had a hard time kind of getting his feet underneath him as the Vulcan. Cyclone Spin as the Sun Wukong seemed very effective against the Arachne, but it's not, Wukong doesn't bring that much.
He doesn't.
As the game kind of progresses into the late stage. He's not that great against the high crit hunters.
No.
He's not tremendous against burst. He's more of a laner, it seems like, and they didn't get much out of, they didn't have a super successful laning phase. They got good ganks off, but they lost some of their objective play, and it just didn't translate into enough of a leave to deal.
Well, isn't it kind of interesting that both the kind of solo laners didn't do a whole lot in that match, right?
Yeah.
Like, Arachne was okay at the beginning. She had the good rotation on the Gold Fury.
That's right. The teleport to ward early from the Arachne just kind of put pressure on the map, even though Shing ends up with 0-2, I think, in this game, and didn't have a tremendous amount of impact. Didn't feed, right? Got his 10 assists.
He did his job.
A little feeding, but you know, he pressured the map really well, right? They kind of always in the back of their heads they had to worry about that Arachne, and even though Sun Wukong also had the teleport to wards and towers, it was more often kind of teleporting into tier 2s to try to save them, hold off. A lot of kind of dejected recalls from Cyclone Spin, right? Where he's like, the team just kind of melted, and then he was there in position, and it was like, well, I got a recall, and they get that for free. What was it? 5 Gold Furies is the final count for Dignitas.
That's they had complete control of the game. That is a very scary Dignitas. Is the exact Dignitas I watched scrim, and when it correlates like that, that's looking good.
It looks great. We'll see how they fare against Cognitive Red tomorrow. We do have one more game today, though, in the best of 3. It's going to be Complexity going up against the Rambozos. Before we get into that, let's toss it over to Kret one more time in the first set to break down what we just saw. Kret, take it away, buddy.
All right, guys, we're going to take a look at a play from your boy, Zapman. Let's roll it forward and see the action one time real quick and just take a look at what Zap can do. So he's in his ultimate, moving forward, going to be approaching a team fight from the Chunks, and his first target is Heroine. The mage makes sense. He's going to dash in. Aegis has to wait, finds the auto attack. We'll get the kill with the So Beautiful. Now turning onto Aurora, not your ideal target, but it'll do. Pulled back in by Dare to Care, continues autoing, just unloading damage as you would expect. Now watch his position here. Runs forward, finds the So Beautiful, gets the kill, heads directly to the Gold Fury because that's the objective. And that's great sort of able to know where you're going after the team fight. Now let's roll it back to the beginning and take a closer look. Zapman in the air, rotating over. This has been called in advance. His targeting is good. Stop this here. All right, so Whirlwind will die. Zap could miss 4 autos. This is still a death. But look at where the rest of the fight is. So Zapman right now, he's thinking, first of all, I'm going to get this kill, and then what am I going to do after that? And instead of deciding to run through a tower and flank, he's just going to go and stay on his support. So let's roll it forward a little bit, and Whirlwind will die there. So beautiful. Aurora not able to body block for it. At Zapman's now, he's just being a hunter, doing as much damage as possible, trying to pad his stats a little bit. And here, pause it right here. This is crucial. Shing can no longer get in range of Aurora. The poison has wore off. It's all up to Zapman to get this kill. There are creeps in the way, so it can only be the so beautiful. He's one shot, one opportunity, roll it forward, and Zapman is gonna nail it. Aurora falls, that secures the gold free. There's no support to contest, and it's gonna be Dignitas taking the gold free in this engagement and eventually taking the game. And we're gonna take a look at what F-Dot's got going on with an interview outside.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It's Tom F. here with the one and only Laz's captain of Team Dignitas. Y'all just won. How do you feel about it?
I feel great.
I'm sure you do feel great. So you guys won that 2-0. You didn't lose at all. So the first matchup, tell me how you guys felt going into this match against Fat Chunks Assemble.
We were pretty nervous because we gave up both Vulcan and Nuwa, so it made it very difficult to push. Even like when we had a big lead, it was still pretty difficult.
Right, but you guys were eventually able to close that out with the help of some of your teammates. Who really was it really a team effort, or is there an individual that you're focusing on in game one?
We definitely focused on the Vulcan the most. I'd focus most of my ults on him, and then we just try to blow him up.
Right, and we saw Return to the Cat coming out from Laz. Is one of his old picks, Bastet. Is that a comfort pick, or was there a thought process, strategic thought process in that?
We like our mobility, especially when going against guys like Thor or guys like Bacchus, etc. And then when I need to get on the back line, I mean, that's just pretty what I do, and get on the Vulcan, you know?
Pretty much. We also saw Apollo, one of Zapman's favorites, able to run around. We've got hi-rez Nabil making faces. That's what that's what Laz is reacting to right there. But so we saw Zapman on Apollo. That's just his character, right? That's what he does, or is there somebody that you wanted in front of him?
Oh no, it's definitely his god, but we can put anybody on him. You know, we give him Cupid, but that's our secret weapon.
So I have to ask you about that play at the end. Zapman, typical Zapman fashion, diving past the Phoenix, getting the kill, and killing Sam Shrew in the well. As captain, how do you feel?
I hate Zapman with a passion, and as long as he looks good on the big screen, that's all he cares about.
Sounds about right. Looking forward to tomorrow. Last question. Looking forward to tomorrow with Cognitive. What are you looking for? Is that something secret, or is there something you have planned?
Gonna just kind of roll with it, and we do have a few plans, but you never know. Just never know.
You guys excited?
Oh, extremely.
Awesome. So thank you so much for the interview. It's been a lot of fun. Congratulations on your victory. We'll see you tomorrow, Lazarus, and we'll take a look at Kelly and Gabe with the money.
Thank you guys so much. I am here with Team Fat Chunks, who just gave us 2 very, very intense games. They will be bowing out of the tournament for now, but no one is going home empty-handed today. Guys, thank you so much for playing. Here's your check for $2,500.
All right, everyone, that was set 1, and up next is going to be Rambozos versus Complexity. Congratulations. Let's give another shout out to Team Dignitas for taking the first set. Stay tuned, everyone, for set 2. We are going to go to a quick break right now.